is essential to fight certain diseases. Dr. Grossman is a specialist in genetics and joins me now from Leeds. Welcome to BBC World News. And we should raise the worry first about the creation of designer babies.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, when new techniques come along like this, there is a lot of fear around, and the concern is that this is a sort of opening the floodgates to eventual designer babies. Now, first of all, we're very far from that at the moment. This is a new technique. The aim is to investigate how this can be used in research to understand about human embryos. But of course, what's really exciting about it is that it could one day lead to development of babies who are not therefore susceptible to genetic diseases, things like cystic fibrosis, BRCA1, the mutation that makes people susceptible to breast cancer, a huge range of genetic diseases that could be effectively wiped out through genetic engineering of embryos. But we are very far from that, and what's reassuring to know is that there was a lot of policing and put in place so that things like that aren't going to happen unless it's deemed absolutely effective, safe and morally and ethically right to do so.
So, obviously, in your view, this could lead to the transformation of medicine. What then do you make of the United States saying immediately we are not going to allow funding of this kind of research?
Well, the thing is that it just raises fear in it, and it blocks things. I mean, the future of medicine, the future of science relies on being able to understand these kinds of processes. For a start, we need to understand how embryos develop in order to actually use other types of techniques such as IVF more effectively to help implantation of embryos. These techniques can help with that even before we go down the whole designer babies route anyway. And the fact is, yes, it is right to be cautious, but to block things entirely, the science is out there, people will be doing this, and it's more important that we allow it in a controlled, in a carefully monitored way. We have great authorities here in the UK. The Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority is very, very good at policing and regulating all processes that could be ethically or morally questionable to make sure that it's safe. And if we know that it's safe, then that's the most important thing.
As you say, here in the UK, the research is quite advanced. Where else in the world are scientists really making waves and making a lot of progress on this front?
Well, the first time that this was done in human embryos was actually in China, and it must be stressed that this was done on a non-viable human embryo. This was never something that was going to be grown up into a genetically modified child, but it's very exciting that the technique has been pioneered, it has been successful. It was looking at the gene for beta thalassemia, which is a genetic disease which is a really horrible syndrome, and so it's great that we have this technology available and that we can use it to